This isn't the NFL you remember. Time is broken here. The players are arriving backwards. The legends haven't been born yet, and every franchise is chasing a legacy that hasn't happened yet. This is the 30-year simulation told like a story, year by year, moment by moment, filmed, tracked, and edited as if the game was real. But don't expect it to follow a script. Some teams rise from nothing. Others fall harder than they ever did in real life. The names are familiar, but their fates are not. You're about to witness the first 5 years of an NFL timeline rewritten from scratch. This is what happens when the future shows up too late and the past comes back too early. The first year of the experiment was a quiet kind of chaos. No legends yet, just a reset, a beginning. In Minnesota, the Vikings fell apart before they even stood up. They went 0-17, a winless, wandering season. Not just the worst team in the league, the worst team the league had seen in this new era. There was no hope, no headline player, no momentum. Just a number. 0. But not everything was bleak in the National Football League. In New York, the Jets found a quarterback. Not a rising rookie, but a journeyman. Tyrod Taylor, now with time on his side, became the league MVP. His stat line didn't scream dominance, but his efficiency, leadership, and clutch play kept the Jets relevant. He won games, he didn't flinch, and in year one, that was enough. The postseason brought familiar faces to unfamiliar stakes. Pittsburgh and Los Angeles reached the first Super Bowl of this timeline. No dynasties, no legacies, just two teams chasing a clean slate. And the game was a defensive struggle. By the fourth quarter, the Steelers held a narrow 13-6 lead. Jimmy Garoppolo, leading the Rams, mounted a drive late. It was 3rd and inches, just across midfield, and the pass was dropped. A catch would have moved the chains. Instead, it brought on 4th down. The Rams ran it, and the Steelers stuffed it. And that was the game. Pittsburgh took possession, ran out the clock, and walked off the field champions. Final score of that one, 13-6. No fireworks, no shootout, just the first mark on the board. A league had begun, and the clock, though turning backwards, was now running. The league turned its first page of history, and with it came the first arrival of rookies from the reverse timeline, the 2023 NFL draft class. A new generation of talent began to bleed into the simulation, interjecting energy into a league still shaking the dust from its rebirth. First overall, the Minnesota Vikings took Will Anderson Jr. Number 2, the Baltimore Ravens took Paris Johnson Jr. 3rd overall, the Buffalo Bills went with the quarterback Bryce Young. 4th, CJ Stroud, quarterback, taken by the Bengals. Number 5 overall, Devin Witherspoon, cornerback, to the Chicago Bears. Number 6 overall, Anthony Richardson, quarterback, and now the face of the San Francisco 49ers. Number 7, Jackson Smith-Njigba, wide receiver, to the Seahawks. Number 8, Christian Gonzalez, cornerback, to the Browns. Number 9, Emmanuel Forbes, corner, to the Carolina Panthers. Number 10, Jordan Addison, wide receiver, to the Green Bay Packers. And a few other additional notables. Number 12 overall, Jalen Carter, defensive tackle, to the Indianapolis Colts. Number 19, Lucas Van Ness, outside linebacker, to the Detroit Lions. And number 21, Bijan Robinson, halfback, Denver Broncos. It was the first wave of young talent being pulled backward through time, and the teams that drafted wisely would reap the earliest rewards. With rookies now active, the league finally felt like it had a heartbeat. The Buffalo Bills and the Chicago Bears both finished the regular season holding the number 1 seeds in their respective conferences. The story quickly became about 2 young quarterbacks facing the weight of early expectations. Bryce Young, in his rookie season, led the Bills with poise and precision. Caleb Williams, a second-year quarterback for the Bears, electrified defenses and earned the league MVP. The postseason felt destined to bring them together. In Super Bowl II, just that would happen. Bills versus the Bears. Two storied franchises met in the Sims' second title game, and each fan base came in with heavy baggage. For one, history would change, and for the other, it would repeat. The game was tight through the first half. Neither quarterback blinked, but in the third and fourth quarters, the difference was clear. The Bills had the weapons, and Bryce Young had the composure. Buffalo pulled away late, and when the final whistle blew, the scoreboard read, Bryce Young became the first rookie quarterback to win a Super Bowl in the NFL backwards timeline. And despite an MVP season from Caleb Williams, the Bears were left holding nothing but questions. And now currently the Super Bowl count, the Pittsburgh Steelers stand at 1. The Buffalo Bills also stand at 1. And Bears fans, you better get some liquor. You're gonna need it. As the timeline moved further into its strange inversion, the league welcomed the arrival of the 22 NFL draft class. The third draft of this sim brought more promise, more playmakers, and the first signs of true balance between past and future. First overall, the Pittsburgh Steelers took Tavon Walker, left outside linebacker, followed by at number 2, Aiden Hutchinson, left outside linebacker, to the Seahawks. At number 3, Derek Stingley Jr., cornerback to the Rams. Jamison Williams, wide receiver, to the Dallas Cowboys. Then at number 5, the Minnesota Vikings decided to go wide receiver and take Drake London. Then, number 6, the Kansas City Chiefs take Sauce Gardner. At number 7, the Indianapolis Colts go offensive line and take the offensive tackle Akeem Ikwon, if I pronounced that right. Then at number 8, the New York Jets take Jordan Davis, defensive tackle. At number 9, the Jacksonville Jaguars take Evan Neal, offensive tackle. And then, at number 10, the Detroit Lions take Charles Cross. The league continued to fill out with reverse rookie talent, slowly reshaping rosters and rebuilding futures from fragments of the past. In the regular season, the Chicago Bears soared to a dominant 15-2 season. Behind them, the Denver Broncos stood tall at 14-3, and then a cluster of 11-6 teams rounded out the playoff race. But it was clear that a few elite squads were pulling ahead. Caleb Williams secured his second consecutive MVP award. Leading an offense that now featured emerging weapons like Rome Odunze, the Bears were stacked, and for the moment, it seemed that they might finally break through. At the bottom, the Eagles and Texans stumbled to identical 5-12 records, earning the dubious distinction of the year's most forgettable. But the season's true revelation wore blue and white in Tennessee: the rise of Tyler Huntley. Tyler Huntley, a quarterback few expected to even start, exploded for the Tennessee Titans. He led the entire league in passing yards and threw 35 touchdowns. His season was electric, efficient, and defiant. It didn't matter that the Titans lacked depth. They had Huntley, and on defense, one lone star, linebacker Cedric Gray. The Bears, though, tore through the NFC, knocking off the Cardinals and then the Saints to punch their ticket to a second straight Super Bowl. Meanwhile, the Titans, on number 5 seed, clawed their way through the AFC, beating the Browns in the wild card and toppling the Ravens in the divisional, then stunning the number 1 seed Broncos in the AFC Championship. Super Bowl III would be a contest of the Bears versus the Titans. And what followed was a classic. The game was tight from the start. Facing a 4th and 10 at the Titans' 38-yard line, Caleb Williams took a sack. Chicago opted for a 44-yard field goal. It was good. 27-21 Bears. Then came Huntley. The Titans began at their own 24 with 1 minute and 59 seconds on the clock, 3 timeouts, and everything on the line. Huntley began his march. A few short completions set up a 4th and 4, and with the season teetering, Huntley scrambled for 20 yards. First down. Season saved. Another strike brought Tennessee to the Chicago 38. Then another to the 18. Clock ticking away. 1 timeout left. Huntley's legs saved the drive again. A first down at the 4-yard line. Timeout. 11 seconds left. First down, no gain. Second down, nothing. Third down, Huntley takes off, barrels, and scores. 27-27. No time left. Just one more play. The point after. And it's good. The final score, Titans 28, the Bears 27. Tyler Huntley had stolen the game, and the Titans had won their first Super Bowl in this timeline. The Bears, despite MVP brilliance and a loaded roster, became something no team wants to be. Back-to-back Super Bowl losers. Currently, the Super Bowl count, Pittsburgh Steelers 1, the Bills 1, the Tennessee Titans 1. One dynasty rises, another crumbles. Time has no mercy. By year 4, the simulation no longer felt like a novelty. It felt like history. A new wave of rookies arrived, reshaping the NFL again with elite prospects from the 2021 draft class. First overall, the Chargers select quarterback Trevor Lawrence. Second, the Eagles select quarterback Zach Wilson. Third, the Texans select right tackle Penei Sewell. Fourth, the Packers select quarterback Trey Lance. Fifth, the Dolphins select quarterback Justin Fields. Sixth overall, the Rams take tight end Kyle Pitts. Seventh, the Kansas City Chiefs select wide receiver Jalen Waddle. Eighth overall, the Buccaneers select left tackle Rashawn Slater. Ninth overall, the Seahawks select left tackle Christian Darrisaw. And 10th overall, the Minnesota Vikings go wide receiver and select Jamar Chase out of LSU. By year 4, the NFL backwards timeline had its first dynasty candidate. Caleb Williams completed the trifecta, winning his 3rd straight MVP award. With one of the most efficient seasons ever recorded, 44 touchdowns with 2 interceptions and a 123.7 quarterback rating. Yet, he wasn't the only show in town. Sam Howell led the league in passing yards, posting 36 touchdowns and 20 picks. Anthony Richardson remained a constant threat, and on the ground, Breece Hall won the rushing title by a single yard. Through the air, Devon Bell racked up nearly 1,700 receiving yards and an astonishing 24 touchdowns. Defensively, the Vikings' pass rush was elite. Dallas Turner led the league with 14 sacks, and Will Anderson Jr. followed with 13.5. The Chicago Bears, though, finished a dominant 16-1 season. In the AFC, the Bengals took the top seed, while the defending champion Titans secured the number 2 spot. In the playoffs, the Bears defeated the Eagles, then the 49ers, punching their ticket to a 3rd straight Super Bowl. The Titans, they survived the Ravens, the Broncos, and the Jaguars to rematch back-to-back title games. Super Bowl IV would feature the Bears versus the Titans. The story, it felt like redemption was on the line. The Bears, 16-1, historic offense, 3-time MVP at quarterback. The Tennessee Titans, 11-6, underestimated again. The game, though, it was dead even. It was 24-24 in the 4th quarter. Then, the breaking point arrived. With the ball at their own 39, Caleb Williams and the Bears stalled. On 4th down, they punted, pinning Tennessee back at the 7-yard line. On 1st down, Tyler Huntley, the hero of Super Bowl III, rolled out slightly, set his feet imperfectly, and let loose a missile. A deep shot to A.T. Perry. Caught, gone. 93 yards to the house. Titans now lead 31-24. The Bears then, they took over at their own 23. 1st down, Caleb dropped back, and he was jumped. Cedric Gray, linebacker and titan of this Titans defense, read it perfectly, snatched it clean, and took it back for 6. 38-24 Titans. The Bears managed one last gasp, a touchdown just past the 2-minute warning to draw it closer at 38-31. But Huntley, calm and composed, converted one final 3rd down with 45 seconds left, allowing the Titans to drain the clock. And that was it. The final score, Titans 38, Bears 31. Tennessee wins their 2nd straight Super Bowl, and the Bears lose their 3rd in a row. They will never return to the big stage again in this simulation. Their arc ends not in triumph, but in tragedy. A team full of potential, brilliance, and promise that simply couldn't finish. Super Bowl count now. The Tennessee Titans are 2 wins with back-to-back championships. Buffalo Bills have 1, and the Pittsburgh Steelers have 1, and the Chicago Bears, they have none. And the Bears are no longer contenders. They are a what if. By year 5, the weight of the simulation began to show. Patterns emerged. History, once random, now took center stage. A new generation entered from the 2020 draft class, and with them came names that would define this chapter. First overall, the Giants go defense and select right end Chase Young. Second, the Carolina Panthers select quarterback Joe Burrow. Third overall, the Raiders select right tackle Andrew Thomas. Fourth, the Los Angeles Rams select quarterback Justin Herbert. 5th overall, the Arizona Cardinals select quarterback Tua Tagovailoa. 6th overall, the New Orleans Saints go cornerback with Jeff Okudah. 7th, the Falcons go wide receiver with Jerry Jeudy. 8th, the Kansas City Chiefs look to shore up that defensive line and go defensive tackle with Derek Brown. At number 9, the Detroit Lions take cornerback C.J. Henderson. At 10, the Jets take right end Clavon Chasen. And a few other notables here. At number 11, the Steelers take wide receiver Henry Ruggs III. And at number 19, the Baltimore Ravens get a steal and take wide receiver Justin Jefferson. The NFC posted stronger records across the board. They looked faster, sharper, more complete, but it hasn't translated. through 4 seasons, not a single NFC team had won the Super Bowl. The Steelers, Bills, and Titans twice had all kept the trophy on the AFC side. Bryce Young, quarterback of the Buffalo Bills, earned MVP honors. But it was a rookie that stole the storyline. Joe Burrow, the Panthers' first-year signal caller, won Offensive Rookie of the Year and led Carolina all the way to the Super Bowl. In the NFC Championship, the Panthers trailed Washington 17-14 at halftime and were shut out through most of the third quarter. Then, Burrow turned it on. Carolina exploded to win 28-24, storming into Super Bowl V. In the AFC, the Chargers edged out the Jets 28-25 in a nail-biter that came down to final possessions. And that set the stage. The 15-2 Panthers versus the 13-4 Los Angeles Chargers. Burrow versus Lawrence. Rookie phenom versus the previous draft's number 1 pick. Super Bowl V, Panthers, Chargers. The game lived up to the moment. Back and forth, big throws, hard stops, and shifting momentum defined all 4 quarters. With under a minute left, the Chargers led 34-28. The Panthers had the ball. Rookie of the Year Joe Burrow had one last shot, but what followed wasn't a turnover or a sack or even a great defensive stand. It was a misstep in time. Carolina mismanaged the clock. They stalled, hesitated, burned seconds they couldn't afford to lose, and when the final whistle blew, they could only wonder why their man didn't run to the sideline. The Chargers, behind Trevor Lawrence, held on to win their first Super Bowl. Final score, Chargers 34, Panthers 28. Legacy checkpoint. Trevor Lawrence earns his first ring. Joe Burrow gets to the mountain in year 1, but doesn't finish the climb. The NFC loses its 5th straight Super Bowl. In the Super Bowl count now, Titans 2, Steelers 1, Bills 1, Chargers 1. NFC teams, 0. History keeps repeating. The AFC keeps winning, and time still runs backwards. 5 years in, and we've only scratched the surface. A world where the clock moves backwards, but legacies are still written forward. MVPs have risen, dynasties have formed, and heartbreak, especially in Chicago, has become tradition. But the story does not stop here. We still have 25 years left, 25 more drafts, 25 more champions, and somewhere down that road, the balance has to shift, right? If you've made it this far though, seriously thank you. This wasn't just a simulation, this was a commitment. Every stat tracked, every game recorded, every pick, every highlight, every voiceover, every second of editing, hand-cut, crafted, and carved out of time that most people never see. So if you're enjoying it, subscribe, stick around, because I promise part 2 won't just continue the story, it'll change it.